Well, it's Tuesday, and you all know what that means. As you know, we have NXT featuring many matches, such as, of course, the NXT Women's North American title is defended. Fallon Henley defends her belt against Shotzi. So, who will walk out as the winner? Will it be Fallon Henley reign supreme or Shotzi? That is a very good question. And we even have the WWE Women's Tag Team titles on the line. Metaphor's Lash legend Jakara Jackson will face off against the champs Bianca Belair and Naomi. And of course, we have plenty other things taking place for their upcoming pay-per-view, Vengeance Day. But first things first, we're going to be doing two other reviews. The first one is a self-produced show by Kuroshio TOKYO Japan, or as many of you remember him in NXT as Ikemen Jiro. So yes, he produced a self-produced show himself. This one's called the 15th Anniversary King of Style Strong, and this took place recently in Korakuen Hall on the 13th of January, featuring many matches, including him taking multiple ones. And of course, we have ChocoPro with their latest event, but of course, Chris Brooks defends the BKG Openweight title for the first time against DJ Nira. So that's going to be interesting, and we do have other matches as well. But after that, we will be concluding this episode with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling views from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or we can put it on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-timing news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us, so click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions been said, it's time to go to a galaxy far, far away. So let's begin with our very first review, and this one is the self-produced show by Kuroshio TOKYO Japan. Okay, Kuroshio TOKYO Japan produced a 15th anniversary King of Style Strong. Now, those who are not familiarized with Kuroshio TOKYO Japan, he was known as Ikemen Jiro in NXT. He was the guy who wears those jackets that he refuses to remove. But he decided to do a self-produced show. He's been in Japan since his release, appearing in various promotions such as All Japan, Noah, GLEAD, anywhere where he is being booked. But he decided to post out a self-produced show, and he was in majority of time in every match. Yeah, I know it's kind of tiring. Normally, when you're doing a self-produced show, you try to do at least one or two matches, but it was his show. So that's how the whole thing went out. Now, our first match features him, Kuroshio, or Ikemen, as we probably call him, taking on Shima. So nothing too special, but of course Shima, he's a legend, one of Ultimo Dragon's students, and not to mention a well familiarized figure in Dragon Gate. But as always, this one went down into Shima's reign when he defeated him with the Meteora, and just like that, it was over. Now, apparently, as you probably can guess, Kuroshio Tokyo Japan was a bit of exhausted knowing that he was involved in another match after this one. So he teamed up with DDT's very own Danshuko Dino to take on the Brahmin brothers, Brahmin Shu and Brahmin Ki. Now, of course, many of you know the Brahmin brothers, they like to bring in all kinds of blunders like suitcases, bowling balls, ectoplasma, water, and all that stuff. And of course, that's exactly what's going to happen. But don't forget, when it comes to Dan Shukodino, he likes to show his rear butt all the time. So that's his main weapon. But however, things are not going according to plan for both Dino and Kuroshio because apparently whatever one of the Brahmin brothers, I don't know which one, had some sort of stuff that they kind of put on Danshiko's butt. And then somehow he and Kuroshio Tokyo Japan ended up in his face on his butt with that stuff that was in there. Then he got ectoplasma, and then of course there was a jackknife played by one of the Brahmin brothers. 1, 2, 3. It was over. So basically, he put himself in a bad position. But however, he had to go back into the dressing room to change to his new outfit because the opponents he was facing is none other than Jaguar Yokota, Minoru Suzuki, Shiro Koshinaka, and of course, um, Japanese wrestling legend Yoshiaki Fujiwara. So of course, that's one team, and of course, Kuroshio Tokyo Japan teams up with Seigo Tachibana, um, Hideki Sakin, and of course, the Terror in the Ring, Momoka Hanazono. Now, this is where things got a little interesting. Uh, well, Ikemen kind of missed Fujiwara. You probably think, oh, that's bad. But no. Fujiwara had that look on his face. Kind of like what Minoru Suzuki would do himself. And of course, Kuroshi was like, we can talk about this. But things didn't go well because he ended up in the Fujiwara armbar. After 1 minute and 6 seconds, he tapped out. And then, of course, there was another restart of course, because this was Kuroshio's show. And once again, the same results. They lost again, thanks to, of course, a single leg crab by Suzuki onto Seigo Tachibana. But however, the final straw happened when, of course, when the restarted again. This time we did see Momoka Anazono taking on what's his name, Koshinaka, but that one ended with, of course, a hip attack. And just like that, Kuroshio lost all the matches on this one. So I don't know what he was thinking, but that's how it led. But however, Momoka Hanazono had to go run back and change to her usual gear because she was facing against Suri. So that's why you all know how this one's going to be now. Suri is the kind of person that she can hit hard, she punches hard, kicks hard. But of course, when it comes to Momoka Hanazono, she's a terror in the ring. But unfortunately, Suri walked away with the win with, of course, a double foot stomp. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, our next match, it's for the Smash Championship in a 4-way. We have Seigo Tachibana, Yusuke Kodama, and of course, Kuma Arashia, and the champion, Shotaro Ashino. So, of course, when it comes to 4-ways, anything could happen. But it was Tachibana with an elbow strike onto Kodama, and just like that, he becomes the brand new Smash champion. Now, our next match, this one was a very interesting one. Kuroshio Tokyo Japan ends up in a cage match, but his opponent, well, his name is Mori Kuma. If you guys probably wondering, it's a bear. Well, not an actual bear, but just a bear. A guy in a suit. Now, you probably can ask, is he really going to face a bear? I'm like, well, that's what he did. But he just got knocked out by the bear himself after 53 seconds. So, but however, Kuroshio Tokyo Japan was still lying there after losing to a bear. But Tachibana and Momoka just showed up to show him comfort. But apparently, they had a surprise visit from, of course, deathmatch legend Jun Kasai, and he brought his posse with him, the Masashi uh, Tadeka, and of course Rina Yamashita. But you can think that there's going to be some moments. But however, there was a great moment between, of course, uh, Hanako Hazano and Takati got in each other's faces, and of course Takeda actually made her cry, and then she made him cry. Of course, she apologized to what she did, and then she gave him a kick in the gonads, and then of course things got funny. But however, it was of course Jun Kasai who walked out with the win with a power driver on Ikemen, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. But of course, you cannot end the show without the man who produced it himself, Kuroshio Tokyo Japan, and just like that, he thanked people for being there. Hopefully, but there is going to be another self-produced show in March. I'll keep close an eye on that one, and we'll see how things will progress. But for now, we are done with this one. Let's move on with ChocoPro. Okay, ChocoPro number 423. This one recently took place in Nichigawa Square again on the 22nd of January. Now, for the record, Emi Sakura, Mei Shiruga, and Balinaki were not present. Many of you may have heard this or not. They are currently here in the States. I'm not sure if they're made their way back to Japan. That's something unclear. I mean, there were some clips of photos of them in Hawaii recently, and both May and Balian were in Texas doing a match over there. But of course, let's talk about the event. Um, for the first time, I saw Sayaka actually doing the opening of the show. Of course, greeting the fans, giving the infos on the matches, blah, 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 blah. But our first match was a very interesting one. We have Miya Yatsuba teaming up with Harashima, taking on, of course, the Pot Tarts, better known as Chiko Shikawa and Hagene Shino. Now, in the back of my mind watching this match, I would presume that Chi and Shino would have been the ones to pick up the win, since they are a more stable tag team. But somehow this match was able to hold up with a 15-minute time limit draw. So no winners, no losers. Now, our next match is a championship match. As you all know, I reviewed Bakagaijin and Friends, and Chris Brooks is the inaugural BKG Openweight champion. So he defends his championship for the first time against DJ Nira. Now, many of you probably ask yourself, who the hell is DJ Nira? Now, first time I saw him was during a Choco Pro event a couple years ago. This was still during the time where, of course, we were still dealing with the pandemic at the time. DeGeneres is this weird dude. He likes to do things crazy, where he attends the play with electricity and all this. But of course, that's always been the case. But however, there was a moment where Sayaka, before the bell even rang, she grabbed Nira's umbrella and whacked Chris Brooks. I don't know what that all about, or I don't know if she tried to set him up. Set up Nira for it. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah. But of course, as I mentioned, the shenanigans that Nira was known for, he actually applied them as always. But luckily, Chris Brooks walked away unscathed when he applied, of course, the praying mantis, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, he retained the belt. Now for our main event, we have Masahiro Takahashi taking on Takashi Sasaki, one of the founders of Freedoms. Of course, you probably can guess that. Of course, those who are familiarized with death matches in Japan, mostly Sasaki is well known for that. You probably think he'll play that part in Ichigaya Square. Well, he kind of did, but not in 100% in a way that you would expect. But I thought Masahiro Takahashi, who I thought is more clever and slicker than he's always been known in the ring. Well, he wasn't that slick with a much dangerous individuals like Sasaki. But however, Sasaki applied some sort of a driver onto him, and 1, 2, 3 was over. But during the post match, of course, I don't know what Sasaki said to Masa, but he actually bowed down in respect for him. So that pretty much plays out. Now for our drunken tournament, I can tell you this that both Masa and Chris Brooks did not make it all the way to the past the first round, but I can tell you who actually won all the way through, and that is none other than, of course, Miya Yatsuba. So she picked up the win of the chocolate. But during the post show, they celebrated the birthday of Masahiro Takahashi. So happy birthday and all that stuff. So practically, that's what happened for ChocoPro number 423. I can't wait to see what 424 it's going to be like. So stay tuned for that. But for right now, let's move on with NXT. Okay, NXT. So it begins with our NXT Women's Champion Julia teaming up with Bayley to take on Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. Now, as you probably can guess, Roxanne Perez believes, with Julia at the helm as the NXT Women's Champion, that the women's division will be falling apart in the hands of Julia. But Bayley believes, in her own perspective, that Julia will take good care of the NXT Women's Division. So that kind of tells us that the war about who is going to be the leading factor in the Women's Division NXT, and Roxanne Perez believes that it should be her. So that's what we ended up in the match. But Bayley walked away with the win with an elbow drop onto Cora, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Bayley and Julia walked away with the win. Now, we jump in with the Grayson Waller effect. Now, of course, you know how Waller and Theory, they tend to stir the pot. And they were talking with Obafemi, and of course, they tried to disrespect them. But of course, they tried to deal with them. And then Trick Williams, as you all know, um, is not happy with what he's hearing of this. Ava was trying to tell Obafemi that you are not the one who makes the matches. Then Trick Williams shows up to confront him, but of course he had to deal with both Theory and Waller at the same time. So things kind of went out of control on this one. Now, Sarah conducts an interview with Izzy Dame to ask about what happened last week. That if she is if there's something going on with Tony D'Angelo. Well, however, Izzy Dame said that nothing is happening between them, but it was more of a gesture. If you guys remember, a few weeks back, Izzy Dame was telling Sean Spears, "No, I don't want to be part of this little whatever you're doing." But Tony D'Angelo was telling her, "Hey, did you hear the lady?" She says, "No." So basically, nothing was happening. But however, Rich Holland, who was pissed that Izzy Dame cost him the North American title, feels you're saying there's nothing going on with you, huh? There is something going on. But Stacks, the underboss, was not happy the fact that Tony D'Angelo is being accused for something that there is no evidence suggesting that something is going on between both Izzy and Tony D'Angelo. But of course, we'll see Stacks and Rich Holland deal with each other soon enough. Now, as you all know, Wesley has been becoming a total prick. He got under the skin of Trick Williams, calling him a former champion. However, of course, as you know, he became friends with Dupont and Igwe, and of course they tried to get involved in the match. But however, Trick Williams cannot control his own composure for two reasons. One, he lost the NXT title, and two, he is trying desperately to get back into the game. But this cost him the match in a disqualification when the refused to obey the referee's instruction. But however, because of this is happening, Ava is getting tired of this whole thing. Obafemi was demanding who's going to be his opponent at Vengeance Day. However, Ava said that she'll be facing both Waller and Theory at the same time in a triple threat. Now, of course, we can say that Waller and Theory will be best bros, but of course, in this type of situation, we will see in the match is every man for themselves. However, Ava decided to have a little chit chat with Trick Williams for his actions that he caused. But you know what he wants. He wants the NXT title, and that's exactly what he wants to do. Now, our next match is the NXT Women's North American title. Shotzi faces off Fallon Henley. Now, of course, when it comes to Fallon Henley, you know the fatal influence will be there. Jasmine Nix and Jay-Z Jane. But luckily, of course, Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan will be there to back up Shotzi. But things did not go according to plan from, of course, for Shotzi when, what's her name? Fallon Henley applied a famouser and retained the belt. But however, during the post-match, Stephanie Vakir has now got into that, saying that she is next, and it's later confirmed by General Manager Ava that in Vengeance Day, it will be, of course, Stephanie Vakir versus Fallon Henley for the North American Women's title. So, that's something we're going to see. Now, as you all know, Kelani Jordan has not been herself ever since losing the Women's North American title and not getting the respect she deserves by certain people who think that she likes to that she cut in line and all this. But Karen Petrovic tries to thank her for what happened last week. But of course, Jordan is not friends with her, so she's trying to get her, to understand her position. So we'll see what more happens down there. Now, Ethan Page, as you know, he has gone the cuckoo's nest. So he faces off Cedric Alexander. Now, of course, if you guys remember last time these two tangled with each other, Ethan Page crushed Cedric Alexander's hand with the toolbox. But however, of course, that injury would be, of course, a target in the eyes of Ethan Page. So that was going to be a play, and that's exactly what he did. But he applied a cutter onto him. 1, 2, 3, won the match. Then he tried to take out Cedric Alexander, but thank God for Javon Evans, who is still currently not medically clear. He decided, hell no, I'm going to give you a whoop in the A. That's exactly what he did. Now, Ava decided to do something about the upcoming title match for the NXT Women's title at Vengeance Day. So, however, she announced it's going to be a triple threat for that belt. It's going to be Julia defending the belt against Bayley and Roxanne Perez. So Roxanne Perez does have another opportunity and hopes to regain what she felt that she cannot lose. So we'll see about that. Now, Fatal Influence, as you know, were not happy with Stephanie Vakir. So, as you all know, Fallon Henley feels that Stephanie Vakir disrespected her by interrupting her moment of glory, but I don't think Stephanie Vakir cares. So we'll see what happens down the road. Now, our main event is for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. Metaphors Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson take on Bianca Belair and Naomi. Now, of course, this was, as you know, we know that Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson have been making plays for this belt for a while, but now they get that chance. But of course, we did see this match ended with Bianca Belair pinning Jakara Jackson, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, they retained the belts. So that's pretty much what happened on NXT. So as of right now, we are officially done with a review. Let's do our last and final thing, news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. So let's begin with upcoming events with the promotion, starting with GCW. As you know, they will be in Indianapolis on the 31st for the Up All Night. The GCW Tag Team titles will be defended in a three-way match. The current champions, Garbage Daddies, will defend their belts against Davey Bang and August Matthews, and of course, the Rejects, Reed Bentley and John Wayne Murdoch. Then, of course, on the 1st of March in LA for the Coldest Winter 3, we have Los Desperados, consisting of Gringo Loco and Aries, taking on the Bollywood Boys. And then they announced for a show in Chicago on the 29th of March for the return of No Compadre. So, of course, wrestlers will be announced soon, but we'll get to that. Now, more on the Jersey Cup event taking place on the 15th and the 16th of 2025. On the 15th, they announced a non-tournament match featuring, of course, first time ever, Gabe Kidd versus Mance Warner, so that's going to be good. However, two new entrants have been announced for the Jersey J Cup. We have Kevin Knight and Cold Roderick. And then finally, of course, many of you know this, we have WrestleMania week taking place. As you know, many of the shows are from different groups like The Collective, and of course the collaboration between DPW, Prestige, and West Coast Pro. They just announced for that particular day, promotion Big Time Wrestling will be involved on that week on the 17th of April. So there's that. Now, they even put out the uh, the schedule. So if any of my subscribers are planning to go to Las Vegas during WrestleMania week, this is exactly the schedule they have for those events. Hosted by West Coast Pro, Deadlock Pro, and of course Prestige. Thursday, April 17th, we have Kirk White's Big Time Wrestling. That'll happen at noon. At 3 p.m., West Coast Pro. 7 p.m., Prestige Wrestling. And 11 p.m., Marvelous. And then, of course, we have the 18th of April. At noon, there is an unknown show open, but we don't know what it is. Around 4 p.m., we have Deadlock Pro Wrestling. At 8 p.m., we have Dragon Gate along with Pro Wrestling Revolution. So mark that in your calendars, boys and girls. Now, for our developments, many of you know that what's her name? Jordan Grace is no longer part of TNA due to her time is up. However, she has confirmed with Fightful Select that her husband, Jonathan Gresham, his contract with TNA has officially expired. Now, I think some of you were thinking in the back of your heads about the possibility, will he go to WWE? I don't know if WWE has any interest, but we will see about that. Now, Tam Nakano recently talked about the current state of Neo Genesis. I don't know what you guys think of her, what she says. So this is what she said. In Neo Genesis, Kid is the only one who does all the talking, right? Azumi is a former high-speed champion and has the skills. And I think Miyu has gotten stronger by winning the future, but they are starting to look like Kid's mindless followers. Are the two of them satisfied with that? You know, I don't know exactly what she sees on that, but as probably you know, Kid and Miyu Amasaki and of course Azumi will be challenging for the artist belts. Now, Tam not going to continue to talk about her former teammate, once friend Unagi, talking about the Rio Goku event that will take place, where nothing has been announced about her match. And this is what she said. Now that I think of it, Unagi, the content of the press conference was just empty as Unagi's head, even though real eels like this are full of meat and so delicious. So she's trying to question about Unagi. Unagi recently has not announced who's going to participate in the event, so we'll see. Now, I think some of you may question about something else that this one was brought upon about Mariah May. As you probably guessed, when we're going to see Mariah May versus Jamie Hayter. Well, apparently Jamie Hayter. Well, she said she will not wrestle Jamie Hayter unless she changes her hairstyle and go back to her old one. She had like a black hair, so that's the reason she's not going to happen. So that's kind of interesting to hear. So she wants her to change her old style. Now, if you guys may have heard of this thing, there's this thing in Japan called the Weekly Pro Wrestling Week Mobile. They do this thing like they do in the Tokyo Sports about the awards from the accomplishments of 2024. Well, once again, Cosmic Angels have won the best unit 4 years in a row. So it's very impressive that they have won this award 4 times already, and this is the fourth one. However, Tam Nakano has won this award for the best woman last year, and now this is the second time that she wins it. So it's interesting. Now, I am going to be doing a discussion video about the Cosmic Angels again, but I think many of you may question, why is the Cosmic Angels one the best unit for this one? What makes them special? Well, this time I'm going to dig a little more deeper so people can understand the individualities of everyone who used to be past and present. So we'll be doing a lot of that, so stay tuned for that. But for right now, let's call it a day. Okay, so hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, we do have AEW Dynamite, so I'm looking forward to that. I haven't decided yet what other reviews I'll be doing, but bear with me. So that's pretty much it. And I did mention I will be doing a discussion video, so I have to do a little bit more of effort to try to add some things into it to make it more interesting to explain why is it the Cosmic Angels are the best unit and why did they won the best unit award for 4 years in a row. So we will discuss from the past all the way to now and what do I do predict in the future for the Cosmic Angels. So we'll be doing all of that. So stay tuned for that one. So for right now, I'll say this, that I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.